All right, on today's episode, I welcome on a very special guest. He's Aaron Gray. He's a freshman forward for Southern New Hampshire University men's basketball team. Aaron, how's it going?
That's good. How are you?
Enough. I'm doing well, man. So excited to have you on the show. Another Rhode Island, another guy from Rhode Island that's accomplished and is playing at the college basketball level. What was your time this year playing at Southern New Hampshire?
It was great. It was a great time for me, especially being under recruited. Me coming to a place that was showing a lot of love and giving me a lot of confidence to go out and be the best version of myself. So it was pretty fun. We had a great year. The outcome wasn't the best, but I think all in all, it was a good year for us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you at least you guys were able to get in a season, right? Because last year you guys didn't have a season.
Yeah.
But this year you made the North is it the Northeast 10 third all conference?
Yeah.
So what was it like to be named to the third all team third team? What's that like?
It's pretty it's honoring. Like usually coming in as a freshman, you usually don't get those kind of things. So for me, just being put in a position where I could go out and showcase everything I worked on, and being awarded for that, it was special.
That's great. And so for yourself too, I mean, you had a great year as well. I mean, you averaged 15 and 16 and 6 pretty much. I mean, was there any adjustment or did you just like come out because you came out guns blazing in the first game? I think you had like 25 points or something like that.
Yeah, it was an adjustment when I first got here. Practices, managing practice, class, and just attention to detail every second that you're on the basketball floor. It started off with a scrimmage against UMass Lowell, and I didn't play much, and it was pretty frustrating for me in the beginning. But I had to sit back and just realize, like, you're a freshman. There's guys that are heady who's been in the system before, and it was definitely an adjustment. But once coach, sat down with me and we went over everything about what he needs from me, it was a lot easier for me to go out there and do what he was asking for.
That's great. I mean, so what was that like that first time being able to step on, a college basketball court and to play a game, against UMass Lowell or even in your first game as well too?
It was definitely an adjustment. It was more so the physical aspect and the speed of the game that was really getting adjusted to, I think. So first, the UMass Lowell scrimmage, like I said, I didn't play too much when I did go out there. Just the whole speed and the flow of the game was just very different than what I was used to coming out of high school. So my first game I actually did get to play in, the guys made it so much easier for me to go out there and just play so free and just play like myself and just be confident in what I do. So it worked out well for me.
That's great. I mean, and also well during through the season as well too. I mean, you had other great games. You had 25 points, 20 points. I mean, what's that attest to like all the hard work that you put into to see all that work come to fruition?
It's like I said, I've came a long way. I've played with guys who are playing at the highest level in college basketball. Some guys who are going on to pursue the NBA. So I always felt like I always been an afterthought. Just those focus on those guys first, and then I will come along and they'll get me where I needed to get to. So I definitely put a chip on my shoulder for me to go out there and just constantly work out, and constantly just trust my work and just keep on going and just keep on pushing and just not giving up on myself.
Yeah, how much of a chip of a like on your shoulder does that put you? Because like you said, you've been overlooked a bunch, and like how many like you got to keep proving yourself. Like how much does that put on to you and like make you want to work harder?
It puts a lot, just seeing guys who, you feel you put in just as much work or if not more work than they did, get the success that you feel that you deserved. It was tough, but it's adversity, you're gonna go through things like that. So for me, my mom has always been a big part of, just keep on going. What I mean? As cliche as it may sound, just keep going, just keep pushing, things will figure itself out for itself. So you gotta just trust whatever you're trying to do in life and just keep going.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, you can't get frustrated. I mean, life, like you said, life's gonna have its adversities, but like your mom said, you just gotta keep going and pushing through. And then when you have to push through something like that, like, do you create a schedule for yourself? Like, how do you get into a routine to kind of like build yourself to be, the great player that you are today?
You just take mental notes, of everything that you've been through, and as you're going along throughout your life and throughout your career, you hit bumps in the road that, sometimes you're at your lowest point, and you just put that as a mental note to keep going. And if you feel yourself drifting back towards those places that you weren't, like that you once was in, you just go in the opposite direction. That's what it's been for me. I've been through a lot. So, you know, I remember when I tore my ACL, I was just like, this is it. Honestly, like anytime because my prior knowledge of ACLs was that was it. Like I watched Derrick Rose go from being at the peak of his career to turn his ACL, then he was just up and down. So for me, I was just like, this is it. Basketball wasn't really in my cards. That's how I was feeling, and I was just gonna find a job and just go from there. But I just had to sit down with myself and just was really had to ask myself, is this something I really love and this is something I really want to do? And just being away from the game for so long, I just grew a passion and a love for it that it allowed me to keep on pushing forward and keep on, rehabbing and getting up early, doing extra workouts for my knee, just getting it back to where it needed to be.
Yeah, when you come back from a severe injury like that, and like you said, Derrick Rose, a player that we all know had the great athleticism, and unfortunately, just the ACLs and injuries and everything. But when you come back from an injury like that, like what's it like to step again back on the basketball court to have that feeling? And was there any nerves of like being able to tear it again, or like anything like that as well too?
It was definitely some nerves. I remember my first game back was against Princeton West, and I had this bulky boot like brace on my knee that the doctors had prescribed me, and I had it on, and my mom could tell like I wasn't really being my natural self. So halftime came around and she called me over and she took the brace away from me, and I was nervous, like I was super scared. I didn't know what to do, like, and she was just like, "Go. If we tear it again, we'll get what that's the road that we'll fix it. If we tear it again." You know what I mean? So I went out second half and ended up playing my best basketball and just being so locked in on just playing so free. It just allowed me to just never like not have confidence in myself and the work that I put in. So
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's always scary to come back from an injury, but it seems like your mom has been a big influence there to help you kind of keep pushing you to the limits and stuff like that. I mean, how big has your mom been in your basketball career and your life and everything?
the biggest since day one, so I told her I wanted to play basketball. Football was my first love, but since I told her I wanted to play basketball, and basketball just runs in my family. I have my uncles, cousins. My uncle played in the NBA, so it runs in my family. But my mom being right there, taking me to AU practices, taking me to AU tryouts. She's been the biggest part of my career. Like just constantly motivating me, constantly pushing me. I remember like throughout the year, this season, you know, the games that she couldn't make it to, she was watching, and she would text me during the games like, "What are you doing? Why are you being off?" Like, and I just remember one time I went in the locker room and I just see my phone buzzing, and I go in there and I'm looking up and I see it's her, and I'm just like, got like 12 messages from her, and she's just like, "You're playing awful. If this is how you're gonna play, I'm just gonna turn it off." Like, I'm just like, I'm looking to myself and I'm just like, all right. So the second half came around and just her just being there and pushing me like that, just little things. She tells me the things I do wrong more than I do right, and I think I appreciate that more than her constantly telling me what I'm doing right, because it allows me to keep on pushing and never settle for anything. So
That's great. I mean, that's awesome that your mom is so into your games and like can call you out and everything like that. Is she your biggest critic?
no, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Has there been a game where your mom, like in the middle of a game, like ever come up to you during like halftime or anything or say anything to you as well too? Or
I was more so when I was younger. When I was younger, AAU, she would just be screaming to constantly telling "You gonna rebound today? Are you even here today? All right, I'll meet you in the car." Like it was just like stuff like that. Like when I was younger, but as I grown older and stuff like that, I definitely I still hear her to this day. Like sometimes at the games, I'm just like I hear her, but like obviously I'm so locked in. Like it doesn't really affect my game anymore.
yeah, yeah, that's great though. That's awesome that you have your mother so helpful and to your inspiration to be such a great basketball player that you are and everything. Um, and to jump back to like the college basketball, I mean, your freshman year, you're supposed to play, but COVID happens. what did you use COVID for? And like, did you use it as an extra training like time, and like how that work out for you?
So I use like COVID as a stepping stool for me. I got in the gym with Corey, Nick, Calvin. Those guys really have helped shape me to what I am today as far as basketball, and my cousin Anton, big part of my life. So those guys, just especially Nick, came to me and was just like, come down to the tennis courts down in Fall River and work out with me. I just remember the first day we was outside at these tennis courts working out, and it was hot, super hot outside. And I remember after that workout, I told myself, I'm never going back to Nick again. I just thought he was the craziest human being in the world. I just couldn't do it. So he had texted me again. He was just like, well, I'm going to be in the Providence area. I want you to come and work with me. And I was a little bit hesitant, but honestly, it was probably the best decision I ever made, working out with Nick and just constantly just staying in shape. He's really helped shape me into a different type of athlete, just on a different level as far as, injury prevention and explosiveness and things like that. So it's been a big part.
Yeah, Nick works out with some great players, and does some really great things. What was it like too to work out with Corey and Calvin? Like, two guys that are very well known in the Rhode Island area, even New England and across the country, of like, skill development and everything.
Yeah, so I first met Calvin through my cousin Bub, who's the coach at Rocky Hill, and he used to tell me, oh, come stay at the house. 'Cause my cousin, we're at the same age, so he would, come stay at the house, come stay with Sean, and I would go down there. And I remember he took us to basketball camp, and that's why I first got introduced to Calvin, Camp Arrow, and then from there, I just kept growing at Camp Arrow, just every single year, every time you had a camp, Christmas camp, any school break that we had, just camps, and Cal just, he just never let me never just push me along. He kept just telling me, yo, you want to be a pro, you got to work. Like he always, even from us being so young, he had us in a different mindset to where we're thinking as pros and not just middle school, high school basketball players. So it's always been a great process with Cal and Corey as well. Corey, since the beginning, since I came to Expressions, was um, very hands on with me, and he was very honest and upfront with me about where the work can take me. So it's been good. Definitely been good working out with them.
That's great. I mean, all great guys to work out with, and obviously it's paid off, and obviously your hard work has paid off to get you to where you are at this level. Playing Division II right now. But I want to know too, what was your decision? How did you just like your recruiting process, and how was your decision to go to SNHU?
So my recruiting process was it was pretty different. I had played it. I had yeah played I played Expressions. Just came off a season with Expressions. Going to Peace Jam, and wasn't much going for my recruitment at that point. I went to NCAA camp, and NCAA camp really opened up a lot of doors for me. So I'm getting Division I calls and Division I offers, and COVID hits. Then we can't take visits, so coaches backing off, and so then the Division II started coming, and when I first got the call from my current coach now, he was just very upfront and honest. Like, I know what you're trying to accomplish, and I know what you're trying to do for yourself and for your career, and I want to help you. And I don't want to just help you get there. I want to help you get there and be successful. So it was pretty much a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. And obviously, we talked about off air that SNHU is a beautiful campus, and the experience they get to play Division II. And now the biggest thing that I just saw, and we talked about it too. You've entered the transfer portal. What's the experience of going through the transfer portal, and and being looking at some Division I schools as well too?
It's definitely been a good process for me. Speaking to schools from all over, a lot of Division I schools that didn't I haven't spoke to the first time around, and it's been going pretty well. Just a lot of just hearing from these different programs who've had a lot of success over the years. It's pretty exciting for me. So definitely it's been a crazy ride, but hopefully it should be coming to an end pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome for yourself, man. I mean, it's great that you're able to, you know, go from Division 2 and take advantage of transfer portal and, get yourself to, Division 1 program. We know someone else that had done that. Tedrick had done that as well too from Rhode Island. What do you think about all the other Rhode Island guys that are playing Division 1, Division 2 basketball that we know of, like Sebastian Thomas, Tyler Kolek, and you know, um, Tedrick and Erickson Baines? What's it like to see those guys' success as well?
It's just so hard not to be happy for guys like that. Those are all the guys. These are all the guys that I've grown up with, and we put in endless amounts of work together. So to see them doing what they're doing and it's paying off, for me, it's no surprise. It's everything that they work for. It's everything that we put in work in for the past few years. So it's definitely exciting to watch, though. To get Rhode Island guys getting more exposure and more recognition.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems like, Rhode Island has always had talent, but it seems like more Rhode Island talent is now starting to get out there, and it's great to see guys like yourself and all those guys you just mentioned, as well as like Enoch Cheeks and those guys to keep going and to make a name for themselves, especially like David Duke now, making the NBA, and you had the Ricky Litos too as well. So that's really cool. I want to ask too about like what was your time playing with Expressions and going down to the Peach Jam and being part of the EYBL?
It was an experience like no other. You playing games and get inbounding the ball, and Tom Izzo's like right behind you. Coach K's right next to him. So, playing with Expressions an experience like no other. I'm thankful for Todd, for giving me the opportunity, but it was just crazy. Just the atmosphere was just like no other. You got games, people are standing like courtside, it's only like standstill room. Coaches is right behind you, Coach K, Tom Izzo, like they're just standing right there and then just watching guys. And it's just sometimes you got to like reel yourself back in because it's like you get yourself like looking around sometimes. But it was definitely a great experience for me for sure.
That's great. Did you ever see any like NBA players come through watch you play?
I remember Indianapolis, just the second session, and I just came out of the bathroom. There was actually a guy who came in and just was um, like clearing out the bathroom. So we wasn't sure what was going on. And as we're walking out, LeBron's coming through to go to the bathroom. So just like it was literally Enoch was right to the side of me. And I just remember looking at him and he was just like we just in awe, like just like bro, that's LeBron James. Like and it was just so crazy just seeing that. We seen Jason Tatum, uh, Ray Allen. We've seen some really great athletes, great basketball players.
That's so cool. That's cool. That's gotta be crazy too to see LeBron up close in person and
Yeah,
everything.
it was like no other. Definitely got a little starstruck. Definitely got starstruck.
Yeah, that's happened. I ran into Dwayne Wade once, and I remember I was like speechless. And I turned a corner and I ran into him at the casino, and he like said hi to me, and I was like, hey, like I just like couldn't find the words to say hello.
That's how it be. That's really how it be.
Yeah, it's wild. And then also too, you played some of your high school ball for Springfield Commonwealth. What was your time like there, playing there, and getting experience playing in the net sack?
So my first year, it was rough. Like we had guys, who really weren't too invested in the program, and we played a tough schedule. So you gotta have some guys who aren't all that invested, and you playing a tough schedule. It's kind of hard to really win games and for guys to get offers and stuff. So it was a real tough year. I think I only ended up winning like 9 or so games out of like a 35 game schedule. So it was pretty tough. Like I remember calling my mom and just asking her like, did I even make the right decision, even going to prep school? Like, and she didn't just tell me, stay the course, keep going. So my second year, I come back. I'm playing with a group of guys that our coach had brought in. Some being Enoch, and we just gelled so well together that we were able to turn a 9 game um, win season the year before into a 25 game win season,
Wow.
and win the Power Five championship, and then go on to play in the national prep showcase, which is one of the best feelings that I've ever experienced so far in my basketball career. And these are guys that I still talk to this day who are playing at high levels in college basketball right now. So it definitely was a great experience for me overall.
That's awesome. That's great for yourself and to be able to have that experience and be able to, play at that level. And that showcase must have been really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, it definitely was. Seeing a whole gym full of coaches, it was giving me EYBL vibes all over again. So it was definitely fun.
All you needed was LeBron come into the bathroom or run into LeBron. That was it. And now I want to ask just a couple more questions as well. What are your plans for the upcoming off season? What do you got planned?
Just working, grinding, just staying in the gym, just staying consistent on what I've been working on up until this point. So that's really it.
That's great. And then everything that you've accomplished in your career and everything that you've done so far, I want to know, where did the passion of basketball come from?
Just my family, like I said, my uncle played in the NBA, and my cousin Antoine, he went to Rhode Island College, 1,000-point scorer, Hall of Fame. So just really going to his games and constantly being around him and just seeing the passion and the love that he has for the game, it rubbed off on me. My cousin Tommy, he's still, playing professionally right now. He played for the Pirates at a point in time, and just, he would take me to the gym, and just seeing the passion that they have for the game, and just constantly being around that kind of stuff at a young age, it just really just rubbed off on me. It's Camp Barrow as well. It's crazy like how many people that was at Camp Barrow that are going on, they finishing up their collegiate careers, going to play professionally. Like that stuff it just rubs off on you, and it just grows like a passion and a love for the game over time.
That's awesome. That's great. Did you play in All About the Buckets as well too?
I did. So my year that I played was I want to say 2019. I played in 2019. So
What was that experience like playing with that?
it was crazy, just to see, like, I think if you look at that roster, I think I was the only one that went Division II. Everybody else went high major Division I, mid major Division I. So that was
Wow.
a great experience, and that's the kind of stuff that's great for the city, and it helps you build connections. Like everybody on that roster, I still keep in contact with to this day. So it was definitely a great experience for not only myself but for the city and the culture of Rhode Island as well.
That's so cool. Yeah, I experienced it for the first time last weekend, and it was wow. I never experienced. It's like such a cool event, and what Cal does there, and for the Camp Earl and everything. That was a cool experience to have that experience as well.
I do definitely need more stuff like that. And I see, Lamont, he just had a college showcase, and that's huge for the city, huge.
Yeah, he did a great job with that. I was at that as well too. That was a really cool thing, and like a lot of guys were saying, that's like they didn't have to travel. It was nice to have something in their backyard. So
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
I think it's cool to have guys, all those guys giving back to the city and like, really helping put Rhode Island basketball on the map.
Definitely big for the city.
Yeah, big time. All right. Now, Aaron, I got 5 questions that I usually just generally ask everyone that's more outside of basketball, and just fun questions to ask people and stuff like that, just for the listeners get to know you. My first question is, what's your favorite NBA team or NBA player or both?
Um, Favorite NBA team. I'm a hometown guy, so obviously I'm gonna rock with the Celtics. As far as player goes, KD, LeBron, Jason Tatum, like those are some guys that Paul George, guys I really, look up to.
That's great. Yeah, I'm a Celtics fan too. What do you think about their season?
It's crazy, how we started versus how we're finishing out. So definitely taking a step in the right direction. Hopefully we can bring a championship back home.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think they're playing their cards right by trying to get the 2 seed as well too, trying to avoid
Yeah,
Brooklyn in the first round.
yeah, sure, sure.
And I see you're a Red Sox fan as well too.
Yeah, everything. Bruins, Red Sox, Patriots, still gotta rock with the home team.
Are you ready for opening day for baseball?
I'm not a big baseball fan. I really don't watch baseball too
Yeah.
much. Last time I probably watched baseball games when David Ortiz was playing, and I know he's not playing anymore. So
I'm right there with you. I haven't watched much baseball either. I knew they were supposed to. I didn't even know they were supposed to start today, but it got rained out. I just started over
yeah,
like social media. What's your favorite food?
food I would probably say steak, probably
Do you have
steak and shrimp. Definitely.
Do you have like a specific place you like to have steak, or do you like to cook it yourself?
Hibachi, so Mount Fuji's been my go-to. That's really the go-to right there.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite basketball shoe that you like to wear?
First Giannis's. very first Giannis that he dropped. It's probably my favorite basketball shoe. I played in a lot of shoes this season, but Giannis probably had the best one for me.
Most comfortable.
Yeah.
And then what about, do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions?
Nah, I don't think I really do. No, I usually FaceTime my mom before my games, but that's really it.
Nice. And then do you have like a favorite artist or rapper that you like to listen to?
A lot, a lot of Gunna, a lot of Lil Baby, Lil Durk, No Cap, a lot of people, Sleepy Hollow, Chef G, a lot of guys.
Now, is rap your favorite kind of music, or do you like any other type of music?
Yeah, rap's probably my favorite. Surprisingly, being out here, country is kind of starting to grow on me a little bit. You know what I mean? Just going to the weekends, country music playing, you kind of got to start bopping your head to it. So country's starting to grow on me a little bit.
I like to put country on in the summer, but I listen to most of the rap as well too. Like, but then like I feel like country is more of like a like sit at the beach and hang out kind of vibe.
No, for
Well,
sure. Honestly, I never thought myself I would be listening to country, like, but definitely being out here with some of these people has just definitely been eye opening. And they show you different things. So country music is definitely starting to grow on me.
nice. And then my last question is, what's your favorite thing to do outside of basketball?
Just hanging with my family and friends, really, just hanging out, just spending time with them as much as I can, especially being away from home the last few years. Coming home and hanging with them. That's probably just the best thing I like to do outside of basketball.
Nice, nice. So that's awesome. Well, Aaron, that's all the questions I have for you. Do you have any comments, statements, or questions that I didn't cover or anything?
No, I just wanted to say that this platform right here is definitely something that the city definitely needs. And for anybody who's out there who's thinks that it's Division 1 or nothing, it's not true. Like it's just not. It's not what it is. You know what I mean? You can NAIA Division 3. It's only 7% of people who actually play collegiate sports. So just keep going and keep pushing.
Yeah, yeah, I love that's a great statement, man. Aaron, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for being on the show, and congratulations on all the success and continued success as well too. I'm excited to see what's next and where you're going to end up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.